Day 142. Just kicking it here, enjoying a cigar. Thanks, Jason. Drinking my morning cup of coffee. I'm off to a late start. For some reason, my alarm hasn't been going off, but that's okay. I need to sleep. So I slept all the way to like 4:30, which is pretty late for me. Woke up and there was more people around me and closer, so I probably woke some of them up. It was rather quiet where we were sleeping. But when I went to sleep, nobody was around me, man, so that's their fault. When you see the bright yellow banana hammock, don't camp next to it. That guy's waking up early. It should just be law out here. I have no idea what's ahead. No idea where I'm going. North. That's all I know. I don't really know what's ahead of me. Not sure where to buy food in this state. It's difficult, and the next state's supposed to be even worse. It's not like you can go into towns and just buy food. You have to send boxes to yourself. Or you're just going to be living off of really expensive candy bars. But hey, I met some cool Sobos yesterday. They have a little game they're playing I kind of dig. Took pictures of their rules. But it's basically an invisible dart gun game where you come out of nowhere and the person is frozen for 30 seconds. And they're explaining the rules. They fuck with each other a lot. So on the way out, I'm like, so what was your name again? And the guy turns around and tells me his name. I said, and he's frozen. Yeah, and everybody's laughing at him. When you're frozen for 30 seconds, per dart, you can be hit with multiple darts. So while he's standing there frozen, everybody goes and runs over and starts unloading his pack, just pulling his water bottles, his food, anything on the outside of his pack out, throwing it on the ground. So the dude's forced to take his pack off and repack it. But it seems like an interesting game. I'm going to see how many Sobos are playing along with this game. I'm just going to pretend to dart them when I see them. I'm just going to be like, hey, how's it going? And see if they freeze. And it's fun when people play along with games. I like games. It's a little late in the game for us to be playing these games. We only have 800 miles left. It would have been something to be fun to play at the beginning, but maybe it's something that I'll take and change and bring with me. No, I guess not on the next trail. There's not going to be anybody out there, man. There's going to be, a couple hundred of us out there? Lonely. So, yeah, we might need a game like that to keep us going. I don't know. That's next year's problems, huh? So, I have no idea where I'm headed, so I guess I'll eventually get around to looking at the map. And, I don't know. Try to break the 20 barrier today. I haven't done that in a bit, so... Oh, man, you were slacking there, Nightcrawler. Yeah, definitely breaking the 20 barrier today. You need to do it. And so it was horseflies yesterday. Today it's tiny flies harassing me. There's literally thousands of them, but they don't bite. They just hang out and annoy. But, oh my God, look how many are on the strap. They're freaking everywhere, man. But as long as they don't bite, I don't care. You guys can crawl on whatever you want. I don't mind. Mosquitoes get on me and they're like cats. They're like searching for that perfect, comfortable spot. Go around in circles a couple of times. And eventually they find that perfect spot and they bite. But I hear having O-type blood makes you less likely to get bit. I am O-positive. But I also think because I smoke and the crap I eat, they don't really want to eat me. Okay, so did my wardrobe change. It's actually warmer today than it's been in a few days. Really nice. Sun's not quite up yet, but it's up somewhere. And I am so far behind schedule. Not that I have a schedule, but if I had one, I would totally be behind it. Missed opportunity. I just had a group of Sobos come by, and I totally should have, just to see if I could freeze them, and then hit them, and then pull their water bottles out and walk away laughing. But I was all, giving the lowdown on the next, 50 miles or so. They're updating me on what I'm coming into. But I totally forgot to try to freeze them in place. See how many people are actually playing this game? Because it's nice to fuck with people on legit terms. It is. It's kind of like putting a rock in your pack, but, different. It's a really nice morning for hiking. Very mellow. This is technically the uphill. I've been going uphill all morning. But it's not steep. Easy breezy. It's still smoky as hell. I just noticed there's a lake right there. And I'm not sure if it's overcast or if the sun's just behind smoke, but it's way late doing its job, which is good. There's no shadows or anything yet. It's just kind of feels like dawn, but it's way past dawn. I'll take it as long as I can get it. But there's nice shade and all that right now anyway. But I hear I'm headed into, burned out areas, lava rocks, all that fun stuff. People talk about it like it's scary and hard, but you gotta remember this is coming from Sobos mostly. While they do have about 800 miles of experience, most of them only have 800 miles of experience. Well, you all think you're hiker trash at 700-800 miles. I did. Looking back, I realized I wasn't. But you think you're all badass. You're like, dude, I've done 800 miles. But you're always learning. At least you should be. Am I really hiker trash right now? As I say with pride. Or will I become something bigger, badder, and better on, the rest of this trail and the next one, and hopefully the ones after that. Lord knows what's on my agenda after that, because, I can't even plan out my days. So I can't say what I'm doing next year. I can say what I'm hoping to do next year. But after that, that's so up in the air. Maybe I'd like to go international. But again, I don't have a job. I don't have to get a job and try to save up money, because, like that wouldn't really work. I don't make much money. I don't have an education or anything. So it's not like I'm going to land me some sweet job if I got out of here. It'd be something very low class, low pay, and I'd never save up enough money to go out and hike. So I got to ride this wave while I can, While I can get you suckers to pay for my trips, I might as well take advantage, Send me international. Let me annoy foreign cultures. See how they can handle it. Well, I've never really left America. I've only been to Canada and Mexico, and that doesn't really count. Leaving America kind of scares me. I stand out as uniquely American everywhere I go, even in America. We're not the most liked country in the world right now, so I'm sure I'd be received well. But still, there's, fear of leaving the country for me. Never done it. And out of the smoke comes this peak. Boom, out of nowhere. I'm assuming we're going nowhere near the top, but damn, that's pointy. I wonder if there's a way to the top of some of those things without, ropes and gear. Kind of doubt it. I doubt they make it for weekenders or anything. But that would be like a bad-ass camping spot, would it not? Maybe in a thunderstorm all around you. You're just getting wind and light and stuff, but, all around you. Sure, you got that fear of being hit by lightning, but, it's highly unlikely. It's not something I really worry about. I've been in lots of thunderstorms in my time. And people get all paranoid about the lightning. But, that's something I just can't control. You can lessen the odds and all that stuff, but no, I don't even really concern myself with that. If it's going to get you, it's going to get you. It generally doesn't kill people. Might just give me superpowers. I don't even know. And there will be those of you that argue, well, what about when there's snow all over the place? You need the blazes then. So you're on trail, but, really? Where else are you going to freaking hike? Where else? This thing. It would be super duper obvious. You can't really get off trail, even if there was a foot of snow everywhere and everything was covered. This is the only way to go. That is one sexy mountain from this side. Just the geology going on, the twisted rocks and the layers. And with the sun shining right behind the peak, it just kind of sets it off. Probably doesn't show up real well on camera. It hurts. Nope, not really. Nope, not really at all. But trust me, beautiful piece of rock. There's still snow up in those pockets. Actually, I think I read that this next water source is, or was glacier fed, that there was a glacier around here, and maybe there's still remnants of it. That's not glacier, that's fresh snow. Well, fresh is in this season. But I somehow doubt there's any glaciers near here anymore. I can see cool, clear running water down there. So yeah, I'm definitely stopping for some second coffee. Maybe soak my feet if I feel like it. I mean, the day has not been long, so I don't need a foot soak, but I might. Stranger things have happened. So that cat right there has been picking up on my mannerisms. I didn't know it. Yeah, and then he started parroting things I was saying. A girl came up and asked where they were sleeping, and he's like, we line up here, butt to nut. And I was like, oh shit, because that's what I was saying. Yeah, I was like, okay, everybody, butt to nut, let's just get in all close. So yeah, he's picking up all sorts of bad things. I was like, he probably should not hang out with me. It's a good thing he's going solo. He's like, no, I want to spend time with you. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm an interesting one, but you know, you'll get your ass kicked in America if you try to parrot me. Only I can do me. It looks like all of my hammocking options that I have scoped out around here involve at least one dead tree. I choose this big dead tree. Oh, it's a monster. But it leans away from me, so I assume I'd like to. And it's kind of a double dead tree. You know, that one's decapitated. But I'd like to think if it's going to fall away from me. Look at that angle on it. I'm going to go from there to these living trees. So, you know, at least 50% of it's alive. But those are my options. And I'm going to camp here. This is my spot. You know, I'm camping with a bunch of people. The cat in the red over there actually started on the AT with me. He's like, "Colin, were you the dude that started barefoot?" Because, you know, he didn't see me much after that. He probably puts in big miles. We got a bunch of sobos and whatnot going on. We're starting to mingle with them and run into, you know, dozens of them a day sometimes. I warned all of them about the water situation, so my job is done. Let's set up camp and maybe make a long walk to water. The next water on trail is like 6-7 miles away. I do have a little bit of water on me. I think I'm just going to forego coffee and have first coffee 7 miles away, so I don't have to do this walk. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Screw water. Oh, the sun's doing its weird thing again. Where'd it go? Oh, thought I got ate by the smoke. No, it's one of those things where I can look right at it again. So where do I sleep tonight? And I still gotta walk to get my water. Alright. So, where am I sleeping? I really just want to hammock right on the trail. There's some good trees right on the trail, but that's just rude. See, I'm not the only one who sees it looking like a tongue hanging out. Somebody actually drew a tongue on that one. He's just like, nah. I don't know why they did it. I mean, there are literally thousands of those things being eaten by trees. Some of them all the way in deep. You just see a shiny spot where everything grew over it. But you think they were like new at marking trails then? Or, you know, they wanted to stand out were the ones with the metal blazes. Like, I'm not sure what they were thinking. Have they not dealt with trees before? And, you know, I said once, say it again. I think it's just smarter to put a little paint blaze on there. Makes sense. Choose your own color. You know, throw a rainbow one on there. Make it reflective at night too, please. But it doesn't seem like too much to ask for. I mean, they did all the work of moving all of these rocks out of the way. I mean, you know, like, you know this was all up on here. So, blaze doesn't seem like that much work, because that's a whole lot of work, and they did this all up the trail. I've shown you a bajillion pictures of them moving everything off the trail. Don't think I don't appreciate it, but I just don't get the weird metal blazes. Scratched into this says, do you think this is needed? I can't read the bottom part. Meathead. Because, I mean, it's really not. These trails are super duper marked. You don't need to be hammering those things into every 10th tree. I mean, at intersections, things like that, things where it might get confusing, yeah, okay, you put up some sort of blaze, but you don't really need to mark trails that look like this. Not, consistently anyway. And again, if you do, use paint. Paint, they have marvels in paint. You paint a chalkboard on something nowadays. A dry erase board in a can. Felt in a can, I've seen. Crazy. Fresh, fantastic water. Look at that stuff. So I have to carry another 16 miles, and there's water a half mile off trail, or I can carry 22 to a cache. I think I'm gonna count on the 16 and hope for the 22, but I don't know if I'm gonna do 22 more today. 16 sounds like pushing it. But hey, we'll see. It's a rather deceiving sign. Did I just cross the border? Did I? You'd think I did, huh? Yeah, I thought I did, but I remembered Oregon's like 500 miles long. But evidently we're thinking this is the high point for the next two things. So this is Milkshake. Hi, Milkshake. I actually met her on the AT. And you remember I was saying, like, I might go to trail days, but I'm probably not going to go to trail days because, it's inconvenient. It's hard to hitchhike when you look like me, blah, blah, blah. Well, she is going to trail days, has a ride there and back, and she invited me along, or maybe I invited myself along. I'm not really sure how that worked.
Both.
Yeah, a little both. But so apparently, as long as I can make it to the next town where I was planning on going anyway, I can get a ride there and back. But she's as loud and obnoxious as I am.
A little bit.
Yeah, so if whoever's stuck in the car with us, how many hour ride is it to trail days? Do you have any idea?
At least 2.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so 2 hours. Nobody will hang themselves or anything in that time. So, yeah, but poor them, they're going to look frazzled at the end of that ride. I'll make sure of it. So I have like a little over 9 miles to go, mostly downhill. It's like 3 o'clock, so it's going to be a little farther than I wanted to go. So that puts me like, well, I mean, that's actually as far as I planned to go, but, earlier in the day when I felt good. But, I'm an old man, I'm starting to feel it. But I got to push on because I got to keep up with Milkshake. And she, like everybody else on this trail, is faster than I am. And I got a late start and all that stuff. But, I was exactly where I needed to be to get the invitation, even though I did kind of ask. But she said she was going to ask me anyway, so cool. But, had I not everything worked out the way it did, I would not be where I was when it happened. So, like Jason sending me those cigars and that cash, and I had to go back to get them. Had I not done that, had he not sent that, I wouldn't have been in line to go on this trip. So, that's pretty cool. So I wasn't really planning on going to trail days, had no real interest in it. Still don't. But the opportunity has arisen, and I generally take opportunities. Might as well see what it's all about. Everything leads to another adventure, man. Although that does take more time off trail, and I feel behind the game, but fuck it. I'm not really behind the game, that's just a mental thing. Okay, so 9 miles, mostly downhill. I got this. And for you Europeans at home, or everywhere except America and Liberia, we've hit 3,000 kilometers. Yay! That sounds like a huge number. But then we're in America, so we translate that into miles, and that's like 1850 or something. Yeah, something like that. Didn't think about it till now, but if I go to trail days, which I'm assuming I am, but, shit goes out here. I thought I was going to the other trail days until I got ghosted last minute, but that's a whole other thing. But the dudes from Hyperlight, I hung out with them last year at trail days on the AT. One of the owners, Dan, was a real cool guy. We got along real well. Hit it off buddy. So hopefully he's there. I wouldn't mind hanging out with him for a couple of days out there. See if he even remembers me, I have to assume he meets lots of weird, squirrely, quirky dudes. But I did hit them up. They were one of the very few companies that I hit up before I came out here and asked them if they wanted to give me stuff and support me. So I could take pictures, stuff, be a quote-unquote brand ambassador. But they snubbed me. I know other people out here that are brand ambassadors, but they're way less offensive than I am. I'm not very marketable. So I got skipped over. So I'm going to have to make fun of them one of these days, when I'm mildly successful and I have 10,000 followers. What? It'll happen someday, probably long after I'm dead, but, you know, people are always way cooler once they're dead. Everything they do becomes art. It was artful. Did you see the way he framed himself all the time? Oh, my God. But anyway, yeah, so they'll totally regret not being it because, you know, I take all my pictures and there could be some hyperlight stuff in the background of those. But no, there is not because I didn't even choose to bring their tent out here because it's a really large tent. It's a really nice tent. I do dig it. Yeah, I got nothing against it, but it's just, you know, huge footprint. Ooh, I'm feeling sprinkles. A little sprinkle every once in a while. Not a solid sprinkle or anything, but I've been hit a couple of times. And it is gray up there. Now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I make stupid predictions. And sometimes they come true. Ooh. But on this trail, I predicted that I would only be rained on 6 times. It has been 0 so far. It's been sprinkles here and there, but that doesn't count as rain. Rain is persistent sprinkles, you know, heavier ones at least. But anyway, so that was my prediction. Now people are like, oh, Washington, you're going to get your ass handed to you, but not necessarily. I mean, all the Sobos made it through without getting rained on. Well, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them I talked to. That's all dependent on the weather, and weather's freaking crazy right now, man. But that was one of my grand predictions. You know, I made tons of them, and most things come true, even though I'm just guessing. But I would like to be specific on this one. 6. 6 was the number. So, you know, we'll count them down. I should probably guess how many times I'm going to fall before a trail, too. Although I stopped counting on this one because post-holing, I don't even know if that counts as falling. So if we're talking legitimate falls, I'm probably on like 3 or 4, maybe 5. But, you know, post-holing, because, you know, you fall down a lot. Your leg goes all the way in, you're going over. It's hard to maintain balance like that. And, you know, I fell down probably 40 times. Oh, yeah, I'll make that on the next trail. Make predictions on how many times I'll fall. We'll keep tallies. Oh, look, see, that's how much it's sprinkling. You can see it. The sun is technically out. I was looking for a rainbow, but I don't see one. But, you know, fuck, it rained every week on the AT, and I saw, I think 2 rainbows the whole time I was out there. Yeah, just 2. I've seen more rainbows on this trail, although they were unnatural cloud rainbows and such, but still, they're rainbows nonetheless. Saw more of those out here than I did on the entire AT. I gotta stop and fix my foot. For some reason, that one's hurting me, and I don't know why, so gotta pull it off, inspect damage. I'm pretty sure there's none, just by where it's hurting. It's on the bottom pad, and the bottom pad, as far as I can tell, is pretty much indestructible. So as long as before, you know, I do any, you know, damage to it, you know, I can walk for miles on that thing with it hurting. I'm assuming it's just my sock bunched up and a bunch of rocks in the center. I haven't taken my shoes off all day. That's my bad. Thank you to whoever writes PCT on these signs. Yeah. I have no real idea without them doing it. I have to look up what is coming next, you know, because they list lakes and passes. I don't know what those are. I'll study the names of what's coming up next. Actually, I do know this one, Wendigo Pass. It goes Wendigo, that's a comic book kind of thing. Oh, and I guess Supernatural has them in there. It's kind of like a werewolf kind of thing, cannibalist human that changes. At least that's what I know Wendigo is. Plus, I also know that as a water cache. But I'm going to do my best to avoid it. Because, you know, everybody else needs the water. If I don't necessarily need it, I'm not going to take it. But if I do, I will. I don't feel bad about it. That's what it's put there for. But if I end up going to this spring in probably 6 miles or so, then I could pass right by the cache. If I have enough water to make it to the cache, it would just make sense. I can shave off a mile going to that spring, but, you know, we'll see how much water I have. And how early I get to this campsite next to the spring. I still have 6 miles to go. It's 4 o'clock. That's roughly 3 hours for me, unless I pick up the pace, but I'm not picking up the pace. Come on, I'm not fast. Get there when I freaking get there. That's all I can tell you. I just noticed there's no birds singing. Bugs buzzing. Is that many storms coming? Doesn't look like it, but I can only see so far in these trees. But above me is grayish blue skies, lots of clouds, but still lots of open sky. Sprinkled earlier, it smelled like rain. Silent forest though. Animals know before you do, man. We'll see. I don't think it's gonna happen. Y'all wrong, animals. I know what's up. This is my woods though. Whose house? That's right. It's rare they have a sign this far away to tell you what lake that is, but evidently it's Miller Lake. Signs works better if I do it like that. Right there, it's pointing at it. I don't believe I'm going anywhere near that because I'm headed this direction. But I hear tomorrow there will be lakes to play in, so that'll be nice because I can kind of use a bath. It's one less thing I have to think about when I go into town, and since I'm going to be jumping in a car with probably a bunch of other hikers, try to knock the stench down a little bit. I don't believe I stink. I clean myself enough to where I maintain, but I'm going to bet everybody thinks that out here. But I don't. Ooh, it's drizzling. Oh, Nelly. It's cold too. Will this turn into rain? I still totally doubt it. But it smells nice and it is cooling. I'll take what I can get. It's falling weird. Like what I can see of it, a lot of it's falling straight down, but some of it is falling like snow. Am I seeing what I'm really seeing? Am I seeing other shit falling down? No. It's got to be knocking shit out of trees that I'm seeing, but it can't be snow. Steady drizzle. Oh, this is exciting. This is the closest thing I've gotten to rain yet. Is there a rainbow? Is there a rainbow? Where's my rainbow? I don't see one. Whatever. Taste the rainbow. Over pretty much as soon as it began. But it dropped the temperature by a couple degrees. But I'm hearing thunder in the background. Ooh. Although it's behind me. And the wind's headed that way too, so. Oh well. But it is pretty gray in front of me. I mean, it's hard to tell because everything's gray out here. But I wouldn't mind a storm, man. I don't even know if any of my gear's really waterproof. I haven't been reading on yet. I'm assuming it is, but you know, I haven't tested it, so I don't know. Like that hammock I'm in. Do I really have to hang the ray fly up? Or can I just drape my Tyvek over it a little bit, over the mesh part that would act as the mosquito netting? And is my thing watertight? I would think it is, but I don't know. Man, I can hear all sorts of scariness brewing behind me. All sorts of thunder going on, then the wind starts for a second and it just stops. It's like telling me, it's teasing me. It's like, I'm gonna get you, but it's not gonna get me. You're behind me, I ain't scared of you at all. So I got to do a little meet and greet with a fan today. That was nice. You know, it's cool saying I have fans. It's still rather odd, but I have a few. And it's rare I run into them. So I ran into a dude named Meta this morning. He's doing a section hike of the area, or, you know, a long-ass section hike, actually. I think he's doing 500 miles or so. But, you know, he's like, you know, loving on them and telling me how great my videos are and whatnot, which, you know, I've only watched 2 and I did enjoy both of them. But I have to imagine mostly it's just bullshit. I mean, how much do I talk and what do I talk about? I don't even know. You guys have a better idea 'cause you watch this crap. But it'd be nice running into him like a nice, normal person. Like, I mean, if you hung out and with me, you know, and kind of knew me, and then imagined what my audience would be, like the people that would actually respond to me. It's not what I would imagine. You know, I'd imagine a bunch of, I don't know, people with mohawks out here or something, you know, the heavily tattooed bunch, rough and tumble kind of people, you know, vagabond people I wouldn't want to hang out with. But everybody I meet that actually digs me is pretty damn normal. And that's, I don't know, that's really cool. Normal people watch me? What? Because I think there'd have to be a screw loose with you all if you, especially with the amount of shit I put out. If you watch all of it, there's got to be a problem with you. And how do you watch this much shit and come back for more? Gluttons for punishment, that's what you are. But it's nice to meet you guys and see that you are normal people, you know, normal lives. I mean, you appear normal. I assume there's something wrong. But on the surface, hey, that's what we all judge by. So it is nice to meet one of you guys here and there, here and there. I'm like 1.5 miles from camp. And then unfortunately when I get there, I got to walk a half mile down a steep ass ravine and then grab a bunch of heavy ass water and climb back out with it. But, you know, the things we do to live, huh? So these forests have gotten a lot more pleasant. The orange sun. You know, this state started off pretty ugly, but it's getting better looking all the time. I hear there's a 10-mile stretch of lava, essentially, where it's just lava frozen in time. It cooled off, but it looks like a flow. They make it sound like it's rather difficult and really hot. Like during the heat of the day, it's just absorbing it in that big ass mound of rock. I mean, I'll try to time it for morning, but I'm not going to throw my whole schedule around a 10-mile section. You know. But I'll see what I can do about it. I kind of want to see it. But it has been like a pleasant day all day, man. Decent views for the amount of smoke. You know, cool looking mountains. I got to drink out of technically a glacier. It's not really there anymore, but the water's still coming from it. Maybe there's a bit of ice still up in there somewhere. I don't know. But, you know, I don't often get to do that. You know, trail days is going to happen, more than likely. You know, nothing's a definite. But she seems pretty sincere about it. I find it weird that she invited me. You know, we run into each other every once in a while. But, you know, because I was like, you got room? And she's like, yeah, I was totally going to invite you. I was like, oh, I should have waited and just let you do it. But, yeah, I jumped the gun. I was like, opportunity, you know. As I said, if the trail provided for me, I would go. And the trail has provided for me. And everything wouldn't have worked out had I not been exactly where I was when I was there. This trail's crazy like that. There's magic everywhere. Happening all the time. Look at that melted tree. I'm so curious how many of these trees, the standing dead especially, have been like dead longer than I've been alive. I don't know how fast stuff rots out here. But I could imagine, you know, one of the huge, thick-ass trees that are dead could be standing for like a century. I don't see why not. This is still kind of deserty. At least by the amount of rainfall it seems to get. So yay, I did 24 miles today. I'm back to being a real hiker again. I kind of needed that a little bit, I think. Just to remember that I can hike. I feel like I haven't hiked in a while. And I was saying I'm going to take it easy, and I guess I took it easy. Look at that. Took my own advice for once. Wow. But I got to speed it up a little bit. Not really. Nah. I think I don't even have to do 20 tomorrow. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I can then do a little bit into town, but, you know, I'll check the maps. I haven't really looked at a bit. But I know there's a cutoff at Wendigo Pass in a few more miles, and it takes you around some lakes and such on a windy little path that leads to the place that I'm going to. Or I could take the PCT that is up on a ridge and has views, but I'm assuming those views are going to be of me having fun in the lakes down there, because I don't believe I'm in a hurry tomorrow. So we're getting picked up on Friday. I think today's Wednesday, so yeah, gives me plenty of time. Stroll in Friday for breakfast. See if hopefully I can upload from there. I somehow doubt it, but it'd be nice. It's about time to clean my phone out again. If I'm going to trail days, maybe I'll be taking more footage than I did last year. Last year I was a little more timid. I'm still a little timid filming around people. It's not really my thing. I don't often capture other people on here. I think you guys have noticed. But I feel, I don't know, weird invading people's spaces, and I don't want to ask them first all at the same time, so I just catch little clips to let you know there's other humans out here. But, you know, I don't give them a whole lot of airtime. Maybe I should mix that up sometime. Start capturing more people. Nah, screw them. This is my show. It's all about me.